The US has lost a fifth of its movie theaters and nearly a third of its bowling alleys since 2001. There's just no place to hang out anymore. A new survey finds Americans put the salary requirement for true love at just over $106,000, with 78% of Gen Z saying money will determine whether or not they can find someone. And a University of Virginia professor says that the American education system is not accidentally producing anxious students, it's functionally built to do exactly that. While everyone was busy arguing about politics, a bunch of other things happened. I'm Keith Conrad, and this is News Side Quest. Welcome to August. Fortune published a major piece this weekend that is the most comprehensive treatment of the third place crisis we've seen all year, and it connects directly to nearly everything we've been covering in this space since March. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics quarterly census data, which counts business establishments by industry down to the county level, going back to 1990, the U.S. has lost a fifth of its movie theaters and nearly a third of its bowling alleys since 2001. A 2025 study tracking 12 categories of third places, things like coffee shops, libraries, museums, recreation centers, restaurants, bars, and other places, found widespread closures across every single category from 2019 to 2021, with the losses hitting hardest in rural areas and communities with larger Black, Hispanic, and less educated populations. The sociological concept of a third place was coined by Ray Oldenburg in the 1989 book The Great Good Place. It describes a space that's neither home nor work, where people gather informally and build the weak social ties that turn out to be critical for community health. Regulars at a bar, members of a bowling league, people who see the same faces at the same coffee shop on Tuesday mornings, that's the social infrastructure they're describing. There's even a dollar figure on what its disappearance has cost. One estimate put the economic toll of the loneliness epidemic at $406 billion a year in lost productivity and healthcare spending alone. The affordability piece is one they're looking at specifically. Jessica Finley, an assistant professor of geography at the University of Colorado Boulder, says, quote, "When I was reporting on saving American fun, I tried to run on saving it. And the venues that survive are now significantly more expensive to enter than they were a decade ago. The problem isn't just that third places are disappearing, it's that the ones that are still standing cost more than many people can comfortably spend on casual social time." This connects directly to everything we've been tracking since the beginning of the year. The $300 gym social club, the Yosemite overcrowding as an economic indicator, the mall revival driven by Gen Z needing a place to just be somewhere, the postmodern Times restaurant running on donations, the barbecue companion for rent in Russia, the American Time Use Survey showing socialization down 22% over the past 20 years. Every one of those stories is a different expression of the same underlying erosion that Fortune is now documenting with hard numbers. So what are your best ideas for a free or nearly free thing to do out in the world? The thing you actually do when you want to be somewhere and with people without spending $60 on entry and drinks. I'm collecting them.
I'm scared if I stop all at once, the cumulative hangover will literally kill me.
Talker Research surveyed 2,000 Americans earlier this summer, asking about the intersection of money and love. The average salary respondents said was necessary for quote-unquote true love was $106,417, with baby boomers the only generation to average under six figures. 8 in 10 Gen Z respondents, 78%, said someone's salary will determine whether or not they can find true love, compared to just 32% of baby boomers. 15% of respondents have broken up with somebody specifically due to their financial situation. Among Gen Z, that rises to 25% compared to just 7% of baby boomers. 31% of respondents said they're going on fewer dates this year than in past years. 6 in 10 said there's too much financial pressure on dating right now. The connection to the free things to do question is the perfect dark through line here. If you need the free activities, you probably don't have the salary to qualify for dating. The $189 average date cost we talked about a week or two ago, the solo maxing trend, dating spreadsheets, the glob intimacy story, all of it points towards the same conclusion. Dating has just become something that requires financial qualifications in ways it never used to. The generation gap is the most revealing piece of the data. The 46-point difference between baby boomers and Gen Z on whether salary determines your ability to find love isn't about Gen Z being more materialistic. It's about Gen Z living in a fundamentally different financial landscape. Baby boomers could afford to discount income as a factor in love because the housing, healthcare, and just basic cost of living math was way different when they were dating. A quarter of Americans say their current financial situation has stopped them from finding true love. So has money, either having it or not having it, ever directly affected a relationship in your life? Not the general pressure of it, the specific moment when finances changed the trajectory.
Oh, to be young and to feel love's keen sting.
Erin Claybaugh is a biology and neuroscience professor at the University of Virginia who has spent years watching her students arrive at college already anxious, already burnt out, and already shaped by a system that was supposed to prepare them for adult life. She published a piece in The Conversation this week that I want to give real attention because it mentions something that most coverage of the youth mental crisis dances around. At least 1/3 of college students report moderate or severe anxiety, with a similar share reporting depression, according to a survey of more than 84,000 college students. Research shows that heavy academic pressure at age 15 predicts depressive symptoms that can persist well into adult life. The argument Claybaugh makes is specific. Even if educators, parents, and policymakers say their intent is to build lifelong learners, the system is reliably producing anxious, burnt-out students. Anxiety is functionally what the education system produces. It's not what the system says it does, it's what it does. She describes a student she calls Hannah, who arrived at UVA having experienced high school only as a series of checkboxes to complete on the path to college admission. Hannah couldn't describe why she was interested in any of her subjects. She had been so focused on performing at a high level that she had lost access to any sense of genuine curiosity. Hannah said, quote, "The grade means more to me than learning. I know that's wrong, but it's the truth," end quote. Social comparison plays a role alongside grades. The pressure to only answer questions when already sure, to never seem confused, and to stay constantly productive. These aren't just academic habits, they're character formation. A student who spends 12 years learning never to appear uncertain, never to ask a question that might reveal a gap, never to try something they might potentially fail at, arrives at adulthood with a very specific set of instilled behaviors that don't serve them well in relationships, careers, or just life in general. My experience was actually the opposite. School was the stressful part, and once I got out in the real world, having only a job to worry about actually kind of felt like a relief, but that's probably because I was working and going to school at the same time, so suddenly eliminated 50% of the things I had to worry about. I think that actually describes a generation of experiences that has gotten considerably rarer. The research is documenting something that, if it's true, means we're systematically producing a population less equipped to handle the actual demands of adult life than the previous generation was. So what was your experience like? Did school make you more or less anxious than adult life turned out to be? And if you're in school now or have kids in school, does the experience match what they're describing?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
TSA agents at a Birmingham, Alabama airport found 5 stolen Civil War-era cannonballs in a passenger's checked luggage. The cannonballs were in a checked bag, not a carry-on. The baggage fees on 5 cast-iron cannonballs would have been considerable. The passenger faces federal charges related to the theft of national historic artifacts.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
A woman preaching a sermon to passengers on an Alaska Airlines flight was asked to stop, refused, and was removed from the plane and subsequently banned by the airline. She says the airline was acting under a demonic influence. A fully loaded aircraft is not the setting I would choose to try to convert people to anything. The congregation was reportedly as unpersuaded as I might have imagined.
Now, I'm Father O'Flanagan. I'm a man of God. And you must trust me when I say it's very likely that we're all going to die.
A pilot near Gatwick Airport in London issued a flying saucer alert after observing what appeared to be a disc-shaped object passing close to his aircraft. The incident was reported to authorities and is being investigated. I hope the pilot got on the PA system and told everyone to take a look. There's no indication that that actually happened, but it should have.
But somewhere out there, something is watching us. There are alien forces acting in ways we can't perceive. Are we alone in the universe? Impossible. When you consider the wonders that exist all around us, voodoo priests of Haiti, the Tibetan numerologists of Appalachia, the unsolved mysteries of unsolved mysteries. The truth is out there.
A woman in Iowa was charged with operating a lawnmower under the influence after being found driving one on a public road in an impaired state. Listen, friends don't let friends drink and mow. I want to add that the speed advantage of a lawnmower escape does not justify the risk.
Have you been drinking?
I'm not drunk.
That's it for new side quests. 3 questions to open up your August. Your best ideas for free or nearly free things to do when you want to be somewhere with people. Whether money has ever directly affected a relationship in your life, and whether school made you more or less anxious than adult life turned out to be. Email me at newsidequest@gmail.com or pay a visit to the Substack comments. See you tomorrow.